Welcome to an overview and history of pay for the 767 and 320. This is a series of videos. You'll get more out of this presentation if you've watched an overview of ACPA wages first. In this presentation, we'll cover a history of 767 and 320 hourly pay dating back to 1993. Take a look at the impact of events such as bankruptcy protection and the contract of 2011 on those wages. Then take a look at how inflation has taken its toll. Mainline hourly wages only, except where stated. Hourly wages are all half day, half night. Let's get started. Hourly pay for the 767 from 1993 to 2021. From 1993 to 2003, shaded pink, 767 hourly wages were making gains greater than inflation. In 2003, bankruptcy protection produced across the board equal percentage pay reductions for captains, first officers, and relief pilots. In 2011, a negotiated tentative agreement and subsequent final offer selection arbitration reduced percent of captain pay by 2.7 to 10.2% for first officers and relief pilots. Reflected here is a 12-year first officer with a 2.7% of captain pay reduction. A 10-year FO would be a 5.7% reduction. The 12-year RP has a 10.2% of captain pay reduction. Notice in the shaded area that the captain wages recover to parallel inflation. FO wages are relatively flat but diverge from inflation. RP wages take further pay cuts and diverge substantially from inflation. This is a result of the percent of captain pay reduction negotiated in TA1 for first officers and relief pilots. From 2011 to 2021, 767 wages parallel inflation. There is no progress back toward pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted wages. 767 captains are 18% behind inflation. 767 FOs are 22% behind inflation. 767 RPs are 32% behind inflation. The reason first officers and relief pilot cuts are larger is a result of the percent of captain pay reductions in 2011. Added is a Bank of Canada inflation line for 767 first officers. Notice that 767 captains are closer to pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted first officer wages than they are their own pre-bankruptcy wages. Added this time is a Bank of Canada inflation line for 767 RPs. Notice 767 FO wages are almost exactly the same as pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted RP wages. A black dot has been placed in 2021 to reflect 767 freight captain and first officer hourly wages. 767 freight captain hourly wage is 26% behind inflation. 767 freight first officer hourly wage is 29% behind inflation. It is even lower than pre-bankruptcy RP wages adjusted for inflation. Hourly pay for the 320 from 1993 to 2021. From 1993 to 2003, shaded in pink, 320 hourly wages were making gains greater than inflation. In 2003, bankruptcy protection produced across the board equal pay cuts by percent for 320 captains and first officers. In 2011, a negotiated tentative agreement and subsequent final offer selection arbitration reduced percent of captain pay by 2.7 to 10.2% for first officers and relief pilots. Reflected here is a 12-year 320 FO with a 2.7% of captain pay reduction. A 10-year FO would be a 5.7% reduction in percent of captain pay. Notice in the shaded area that captain wages recover almost parallel inflation. FO wages are relatively flat and diverge from inflation. The difference between the two is a result of the percent of captain pay reduction negotiated in TA1 for first officers and relief pilots. From 2011 to 2021, shaded pink, 320 wages parallel inflation. There is no progress in regaining pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted wages. The 320 captain is 23% behind inflation. The 320 FO, 24% behind inflation. Added is a Bank of Canada inflation line for first officers. Notice the captains are closer to pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted first officer wages than they are their own pre-bankruptcy wages. In purple, Rouge 320 hourly wages have been added between 2014 and 2021. The Rouge 320 captain wage is 25% behind inflation. The Rouge FO is 40% below inflation because the pay scale caps out at 8 years. To summarize how far 767 and 320 positions have diverged from pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted wages. In orange is the 2003 inflation-adjusted wage for each position. To the right, 2021 wages. Mainline 320 captain, 23%, or $69 an hour behind inflation. Rouge 320 captain, 25%, or $75 an hour behind inflation. Mainline 320 FO, 24%, or $50 an hour behind inflation. Rouge 320 FO, 40% behind inflation, or $82 an hour. Mainline 767 captain, 18%, or $58 an hour behind inflation. Rouge 767 captain, 30%, or $97 an hour behind inflation. Freight 767 captain, 26%, or $85 an hour behind inflation. Mainline 767 FO, 22%, or $48 an hour behind inflation. Rouge 767 FO, 37%, or $82 behind inflation. Freight 767 FO, 29%, or $65 an hour behind inflation. Mainline 767 RPs, 32%, or $56 an hour behind inflation. Notice the circle. Compare the pre-bankruptcy inflation-adjusted RP wage against today's 767 FO wages. In this presentation, we covered from 1993 to 2003, ACPA 767 and 320 wages made gains above inflation. Bankruptcy protection in 2003 brought equal pay cuts to both captains, first officers, and relief pilots. There has been no recovery toward pre-bankruptcy wages over the last 15 years. In fact, the opposite has occurred. Further cuts since bankruptcy have taken place in the form of Rouge, Freight, and first officer and relief pilot pay. Thank you for watching, and fly safe.